Welcome and thank you for joining me today. I am tannamarshall, Women's Empowerment Coach and founder of Infinite Woman. And today I am joined by Dr. Ginny Trierweiler, creator of the Slender for Good program. I thought this would be a good time to revisit healthy eating because I'm sure most of us have fallen off of our New Year's resolutions to lose weight. So let me tell you a little bit about Dr. Ginny. Dr. Ginny suffered with excess weight for years, and it seemed like nothing was working anymore after menopause. As she became increasingly concerned about her future, she got determined and went directly to the research to discover what really works for eating, health, and weight loss. As the pieces fell into place about what actually works, she found it easy to release the excess weight and recover tremendous health and vitality. Now, Dr. Ginny loves to help other smart women over 40 to achieve the same dramatic results without suffering. That sounds good to me. I'm so excited to talk to you and learn more about this. So, Ginny, tell me the story of how you came to create this effective eating plan, how it's changed your life, because I've heard it several times and I think it's fascinating.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think in my mid-50s, I felt like indulging in really good food and really good drink was like my self-care approach. Like every night, something super, super special. I was going out to restaurants, I was doing wine tastings, and yeah, it felt really important to me. But my health was getting worse, and it was starting to get scary. I had pain and inflammation all the way from an incident in high school that just got worse and worse and worse. And I took ibuprofen every day for 35 years. I was asking the doctor for other pain medications, and I was starting to have trouble walking. I was also developing pre-diabetes. I had hot flashes. I had brain fog. I just had so much discomfort that I thought, well, maybe this is just getting older. Maybe this just has to happen, right? Especially as I got into menopause, I'm like, my whole body's changed. Is this it? You know, is this what I have to live with? And I had this big wake-up call moment. You might have heard this part of my story where I started working. I'm a psychologist. I started working in nursing homes. And I thought these people were going to be in their 80s and 90s. I don't know if people know this. They're in their 60s and 70s, the majority of people in nursing homes. And they have diseases that relate to the way we eat and drink these days. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's where I'm headed. And it makes me want to cry every time I think about how scared I was when I had that insight. So I decided quit reading everything out in the popular press about diets and weight loss because they're not helping you. Go directly to the research. You're a trained scientist. Go look. And so key principles started coming forward and I started following them and it got easier and easier. And yeah, it changed everything. I dropped the excess 60 pounds. All those symptoms of pain and inflammation went away, the hot flashes, the pre-diabetes reversed. I had no idea really, but I thought I was eating pretty healthy. I was far enough off that it changed my whole life when I discovered what to do differently. So I just feel like shouting to the rooftops. I thought I've got to teach other women how this works because it's not hard, actually. Well, but they're not going to find it. They're not going to find it out there in the popular press. It's not out there.
Yeah. Well, thank goodness you're here with an easy solution. And I have to say, your before and after pictures are astonishing. It's such a dramatic difference. I'm going to put them in here so people can see, because it's not only the physical transformation that you can see, you can tell the difference in your energy,
right?
And your attitude and your happiness level. You look like a completely different person.
I know. People tell me all the time, that doesn't even look like you. And one way I summarize how I'm different is I'm more alive in so many ways. Like when you eat an abundance of the nutritious, life-giving foods your body needs, everything changes. It's not just weight loss, everything. Yeah, I wake up every morning feeling good. It's massive.
Yeah, everybody wants that.
Right?
And so how long after you made all these changes did you start sharing this information with other women?
I'm not sure. You know, when I did this, it was to save my life, right? It was to keep out of a nursing home. So I wasn't documenting everything I was doing. So then it took me at least a good year to figure out, how do I teach this to other women? And then I have been refining it for several years because I want people to get the big results with the least pain and suffering. Like, people are so scared about starting a new diet. No, it doesn't have to be scary. You can thoroughly enjoy and even come to crave the good foods. And that's partly why people ask me sometimes, why do I want a psychologist guiding me in my healthy eating and weight loss? You do need the right eating approach. It's absolutely critical. I discovered that only by looking at the research. But I really learned there's a whole psychology that needs to shift. Like, if we are in love with the things that are bad for us, feel like the good stuff is boring, we're behind the eight ball, right? We've got to change how we're thinking and feeling about eating and drinking. And then we really get some leverage. It starts to take on this momentum, right?
Yeah. Well, I know I've been dealing with weight issues since
Really?
I was a child. I was a fat kid, and our
Wow.
doctor was always telling me to lose weight. So I have been dealing with this stuff for years.
Wow.
And I went through probably a lot of the same things that other women have. I remember being 10 years old and wrapping myself in saran wrap, and
Oh,
starvation always felt like it had to be part of
part of
it.
it.
Like,
Yes.
deprivation always feels like it. But I have to say, I did lose weight. It's not funny, but I did lose a good amount of weight. And I felt really thin. I won't say good, because it was when I was diagnosed with lupus when I was 15.
Oh my gosh.
And
Yeah.
I lost my
Wow.
appetite. And so I lost weight and I had no energy. So I spent the whole summer laying around my neighbor's pool. So I went back to school. I was thin and tan. I looked great, but
Yeah.
I could hardly move. So it's interesting
Uh-huh.
if you're talking about the arthritis. I had it for a different reason, but
Yeah.
going through that, that's why I started studying natural health and became a holistic health practitioner, alternative therapies. So
Nice.
that healed better. But I also, like you were talking about ibuprofen, I used to take 15 arthritis strength bufferin a day just to be able to move.
Wow.
I know
Wow.
it's amazing that I have a healthy liver and all that.
Yeah.
But the only reason I bring that up is because into adulthood, we all want to lose that 10 pounds or that
Right.
15 pounds. And I've been able to kind of keep myself in a good place. And I've done Jenny Craig. I've done
Yeah.
Weight Watchers actually worked for me for a while. I've,
Yeah.
like I said, starved myself. I've tried keto. I've done raw. And if it's not satisfying for me, it's
Yeah.
not sustainable, and I won't stick to it.
Right.
So I'm interested to learn. So tell me, why is this program different from all the other plans out there? Because there are so many.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I've studied as a psychologist is evidence-based practices. And so you find a program that works and you want to replicate it because it works, but people take a little of this and a little of that and it doesn't work anymore. And I think the same thing is happening with our eating approaches. We've got certain pieces that are right and enough that's wrong that we just can't get there. We might lose weight for a little while and then gain it back. Or we might lose weight, like you said, in a way that we feel less energy than before. Most of the approaches out there are not right. They don't have the right elements. The whole idea of, I got to eat less to lose weight, you're going to have to keep eating less and less and less. That's not a sustainable approach, and it's not going to give you more energy. We're eating the wrong things. We're eating far too many of the wrong things and far too little of the right things. And everybody knows that a little bit, but they don't have the clarity and specificity to do what actually works. What I was searching for is what actually works predictably. And it's super hard to find in the marketplace. Yeah. I couldn't have found it if I didn't have 15 years of school.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And you know what? I was going to say before that I totally understand, and I think it makes total sense that your professional background in psychology is completely appropriate, because eating is an emotional thing. Most people have a weight issue, because I know I self-medicate with sugar. If I'm all stressed out, it's like that's what I need to make myself feel better. And it's not always just eat less or eat more vegetables. There's a whole emotional and mental component behind it that people who don't have a weight issue don't understand. They think it's just easy, like, oh, you should exercise more and eat less. And it goes way deeper than that, right?
Right. Well, and it's not how habit change works. You know, my expertise is in habit change and psychology. If you're trying to change the way you've been eating, your primitive brain is going to go, what are you doing? We've been surviving every day doing it that way. Go back to doing it. And you're going to be like, how did I end up eating this again? I wasn't going to. You got to learn how to take charge of your own psychology, or it will keep running you around.
Yeah, as it has been for
Right? It's a
so,
very habit-driven behavior, eating.
yeah, for sure. And we have the things that we like, and
Yep.
it could change because I know I went through phases. I remember in my teenagers, I went through a French bread pizza phase, and then I went through a French
Yes.
phase, and then I went through a quiche phase. It's like
Yes.
there'll be something like, this is what sounds good to me. I'm going to eat this all the time right now.
Yes. Yes.
And sometimes it's healthier stuff, but I just remember those specific times when I was a teenager. So let me
Yeah.
ask you, is this a specific eating plan or is
Yeah.
it a guideline that you give
Yeah,
people?
yeah, I do have a pretty specific eating plan. So I discovered how much protein we need to be healthy. In our world, we tend to be encouraged to actually eat more protein than is good for us. We need it, but we don't need to overdose on it. How much fruit, how much vegetables, how much fat, right? And so figuring out those things, how much processed food. Right now in the United States, more than half of the food people are eating is highly processed, but it's all packaged with, this is a good version of highly processed. This one's healthy for you. So to resist all that, it's like, no, you lie. I'm going to go for real food and I'm going to find ways to enjoy it. It's not just a matter of like forcing yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
it's a
one
little
of the
bit more
other
of a
things,
process.
yeah. And I know that one thing that a lot of manufacturers are doing, they're putting natural in the
Yes,
packaging, which doesn't
natural.
mean anything.
It doesn't mean anything, but it called to me all the time. I have a whole bunch of pictures like that all called to me. Fat-free, sugar-free. Sugar-free means they added some kind of fake sugar. It doesn't mean it doesn't have something you don't want, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, if it doesn't have that kind of marketing on it, if it doesn't have packaging like that, it's probably food.
Yeah.
I call those things that are packaged, I call them chip nipples. Cravingful, highly processed, non-nutritious food-like substances.
That's
Other
good stuff.
people call them treats.
Okay. Yeah.
That's a pretty different psychology, right?
Yeah. Yeah. What was the first word? Chip nipples?
Cravingful, I made it up. You could say craveable.
That's cute. No, it totally makes sense. I like the word that you came up with.
I keep a list of 100 people reporting how their health changed, and it's gigantic. Like people overcoming gut issues they've had for their whole lives and pain issues they've had for their whole lives. And so I find for my clients, yeah, it really, really works. That's what I wanted, what actually works. But then to be successful with, I don't know how to eat that much. And I don't know how to cut out some of the things you're saying I should cut out for a while. I need more help with that. I've created a 12-month program so women can really start to feel like I can totally do this.
Mhm.
I don't do any kind of 2-week program because it's just going to feel to people like it's restrictive.
Yeah. And then they're just on their own. So
Yeah. And they're
yeah,
out
no,
there feeling like that didn't work either.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you, how do you support your clients in the program? And what
Yeah.
can women expect when they join? Is there one-on-one support? Is there group
Yeah.
support? Is there both?
Yeah, I really thought a lot about how to help women because I'm used to, as a psychologist, working with people one-on-one. But what I found is small groups where I'm still very close to them. I can see what they're going through, but they can see what each other's going through is the most helpful way. So I take about 5 to 10 clients at a time, and we stay together for a year because they want to not only get started making the changes that work, they want them to start to get easy, effortless, automatic, enjoyable. And that takes a little more time, right? Like, yeah, different people have different things they want to hold on to. Like, it would be terrifying to let go of this thing that you gave up for forever, right? It doesn't work for our psychology to say forever.
Mhm.
Right? So
Yeah.
to even start to experience how different their life can be when they change their eating this way, they need to be eased into it a little bit, right? It doesn't turn out to be scary. All my clients that succeed tell me this isn't hard, but they don't say that the first day. At first, they're like, what? You know?
Well, and I love that you have small groups because it sounds
Yeah.
similar to the kind of support and camaraderie with people who are going through the same experience as Weight Watchers meetings. I had a lot of success with Weight Watchers. I lost almost 20 pounds for our vow
Yeah.
renewal a few years ago, but I
Wow.
didn't like going to meetings. That
Yeah.
wasn't my thing. But it sounds like yours, and is it all virtual? Are the meetings all
Yeah, it's
virtual?
all virtual.
Okay.
They're all smart, successful women. At first, they're not sure, but then they meet each other and they love seeing each other. They'd say, this is my women's group. This is where I'm coming to be my best every week, and you guys are helping me do that. It's so different from just trying to restrict what you're eating, diet, and feeling really alone and like, is this all going to come back, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you said something that I think every woman feels when they think about, oh, I have to go on a diet. There's almost that terror or
There
that
is a dread, right?
dread, like, oh, I better, and then it's like, I better eat all this
I
before I
know.
go on the diet, because I
I'm
can't
going to
ever.
deprive myself, but it's just going to be temporary, and then I'll lose the weight, and then I'll go back to eating what I really, really love. We're
Yes.
really changing our mind about what we really love.
Yeah.
And it doesn't happen by just telling ourselves, but you can come to love the things your body actually needs. And that makes it start to get really easy and enjoyable. Like,
Yeah.
I can eat this way the rest of my life now that I love it.
That is what women want to hear. I know.
Yeah,
So
right?
tell me, what is the number one thing that you would like women over 40 to know about their bodies and weight loss?
Hmm. Well, one thing that I am very big on is dieting is not the way. Eating less is not the answer. It's not the answer for your psychology, and it's not the answer for your body. Actually, we focus on eating more from the beginning. And that starts to change your sense of energy, your sense of fullness. It starts to get you feeling excited. And then you can start looking at, you know what, at the same time, I'm going to cut out some certain things. I'm going to make some changes and see how that goes. And if it goes amazing, maybe I'll stick with that. Like, one thing I cut out was alcohol. And my wine felt really important to me. But I thought, well, let's see how I feel. How's my aliveness? How's my energy? How's my everything, right? My pain and inflammation if I cut out alcohol. I'm going to do it for a year and really see, not just for a week or two, right? And once I did that, I was like, wow, I feel like a different person. I think this is worth continuing to abstain from alcohol, right?
Yeah.
It isn't something I feel badly about, even though I thought I was going to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I'm sure a lot of women are like, oh my God, give up my wine.
Yeah,
But I think everybody has that individual thing where
yeah,
you know how that success feels when you do something
yeah,
and then you're like, oh, I feel good. Let me do it. That's why all the 12-step programs are one day at a time. Just do it
yeah,
and then another day and then another
yeah,
day. And your program is taking them through a whole year of
yeah,
doing that and feeling the success during.
yes. You build one success on another success, and it builds momentum and it gets easy. My clients always tell me, this is easy. I'm
Yeah.
like, isn't it?
I
Yeah.
love that. Well, speaking of easy, just for any woman watching right now, whether
Yeah.
she joins your program or not, tell us one simple thing that you would recommend to women that they can do right now to improve their health.
Yeah. Well, I would say find a way to incorporate real whole fruit at breakfast and lunch every day, and find a way to enjoy like platefuls of vegetables, whether it's salad or it's like right now I'm having broccoli and squash together with butter and salt and pepper. It's just what I look forward to every day. Find some kind of way of enjoying platefuls of fruits and vegetables.
I like that, platefuls. And I love that you said fruit too, because
Yeah,
so many programs don't want you to have fruit. So I love fruit and I
I
love that you said,
know.
and that's thank you, because that's such a simple thing
Oh,
that people
good.
can start doing right away. So thank you for that
And
suggestion.
notice if your body's happy about it. It might be really happy. Sometimes our gut has to go through a transformation from being sick to being well, and it doesn't always feel good immediately, but a lot of times people start feeling more energy and excitement pretty fast.
Yeah, they really have to
It
go through
helps.
a detox.
Yes, it
Yeah.
really helps. Yeah, I love the question. What's one thing? Yeah. And the other thing I would say is watch out for the latest tip, because we end up putting one tip on top of another tip on top of another tip, and we don't have any coherent approach, and it's not adding up to results.
I do that all the time. I'm on so many mailing lists.
Right? Maybe it's great for some things. It's not great for a healthy eating approach, I don't think.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. That's really good. Break up with all the things that aren't working. Too much TMI, too much information.
Right, right.
But speaking of information, where can people find you and learn
Yeah.
more about you and your program and your services?
Yeah, thanks for asking. Yeah, go to my website, slenderforgood.com. I have a roadmap to sustainable weight loss in there. Why you must stop dieting if you want to lose weight and keep it off. It's real, I mean it. Hopefully I explain it well in this roadmap. Yeah. And also I'm doing a free live event in March, and that will start showing up on my website, and people will get email about that. It's 5 hours, and people have told me it's absolutely changed their mind about how to approach weight loss and healthy eating. Yeah, it's awesome.
Is this the one that you did in December, right before
I
New
did
Year?
it in December. Yeah. Right now, so many people love it. I'm not going to stop doing it for a while. I'll do it.
No, definitely. I think it's great. See, this is why I wanted to put you in this video in March, because usually by March we've lost all our momentum with that New Year's, like, I'm going to lose 10 pounds.
Yes.
So I think it's great that you're doing it again in March. And I will say it was so packed with information and education, and it was really inspiring because you share your story and you share so much misinformation also that's out there. So I thank you for that, because I thought it was a fantastic
good
5-day seminar. So I can attest, it's awesome.
I forgot you came to it. That's great. Yeah.
I did. I had
It's
to watch
worth the time, right?
They were great. Yeah, they were great. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for doing it again. And I'm impressed that you do it live every time too. So I would imagine you might have maybe new tidbits of information you add sometimes, but it was fantastic. So everybody go get on her list, go to her website, slenderforgood.com. I will put it here, and her information will be in the description below. Go check it out. If you've been struggling with your weight, Dr. Ginny can help you, and it's easy, as she keeps mentioning and her clients keep mentioning, it's easy. So if you want to
have to be hard,
easily go to Dr. Ginny. Thank you, Dr. Ginny, so much for being here today. You gave us so much great information, and thank you for sharing your story. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Tana. I love talking with you. You're so inspiring. And thank you for including me here.
Ditto. And I was just going to say that your story was so inspiring, and we all learned so much. So if you want to get slender for good, contact Dr. Ginny, go to her website, sign up for the free event coming up. And if you are watching this recording after March 2023, stay on her list, because she's doing it regularly and you can catch the next one live.
Yep.
So thank you so much for joining me again today. I'll be back with more inspiring interviews with amazing women. So remember to subscribe here on YouTube. And if you'd like to join the community and get a free gift, jump over to my website, tannamarshall.com, and sign up to be notified about upcoming interviews, events, and programs. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time.